So we're going to start talking about possessive adjectives. Possessive adjectives are the type of words that we have to say that one thing belongs to somebody else. So this is actually cut and paste from your vocab list. So as we go, feel free to fill in your vocab list. The word me is my. Meese is also my. We'll talk about the difference between me and meese in a little bit. Tu is your, and tus is your. Again, there's a difference. Sue and Seuss would be their, Their, like it belongs to somebody, or his or her, it could be as well. Nuestro, nuestra, nuestros, and nuestras. They all mean our, like something belongs to us. And vuestro, vuestra, vuestros, vuestras means something belongs to you all. So a possessive adjective, again, is used to express who owns something, or rather, how one thing relates to another thing. So, for example, I might say his shoes or her father. She's not actually going to own her father, but the relationship there is that the father is hers. So we think of it as sort of owning, but nonetheless, we will say her father. Maybe we might say our backpack or your burritos. So again, the word my is me. So if I want to say my grandpa, I'd say mi abuelo, my mom, mi madre, my pen, mi bolígrafo, or mi perro Wally, my dog Wally. Notice I had some masculine words here, abuelo, some feminine words, madre, and it didn't make a difference. It's always just going to be the word me. That means my. However, sometimes we're going to use a plural possessive adjective if the thing that relates to the person or the thing that's being owned is plural. So, for example, I might have 2 sisters or 3 aunts or 4 dogs, 5 children, or even 6 teeth. And I, myself, it says right here, I might have those things. And that could be the case. I am just one person, but I can have, like I said, 2 sisters. So the thing, the sisters, the thing that is being, again, owned or in a relationship to me is plural. There's 2 sisters, or 3 aunts, or 4 dogs, or 5 children, or 6 teeth. When the thing is plural, like the 2 sisters, 3 aunts, 4 dogs, 5 children, 6 teeth. When those things are plural, we're going to use the word mis. So, for example, mis abuelos, my grandfathers or grandparents. Mis madres, my mothers. Mis bolígrafos, my pens. Or if I have 2 dogs, mis perros, Wally y Sherlock, my dogs, Wally and Sherlock. Again, we've had some masculine things here, some feminine things, but nonetheless, masculine or feminine, one thing holds true. All of these things are plural, therefore we need the word mis. If we want to say something is yours, and this is just one thing that belongs to you, we're going to say the word to, but notice this to does not have an accent. If you have the word to with an accent, that means you. If you have the word to without an accent, that means your. So this isn't say you grandpa, it says your grandpa because there is no accent here. So this is your grandpa, your mother, your pen, and your dog Wally. And if those things become plural, still no accent, it would be your grandparents, tus abuelos, your mothers, tus madres, your pens, tus bolígrafos, or your dogs Wally and Sherlock, tus perros, Wally y Sherlock. Again, masculine, feminine, masculine, masculine. But it doesn't matter. These things are plural, so we need tus. By this point, you're asking yourself, why can't I just say that the taco belongs to a person? So check this out. We could say this, El Taco de Larry Sanders. Sure, the taco of Larry Sanders. But when we're talking, we aren't always going to say that. Sometimes we're going to be like, oh my gosh, did you see Larry Sanders? He played so well last night. Sick crossover. And then we're going to be like, oh, by the way, that's his taco. Don't eat it. He's going to be mad. So we're not always going to be like, by the way, that's the taco of Larry Sanders. Don't eat it. He's going to be mad. That's weird. So what we do is we say the phrase his. So yes, if we don't know who we're talking about, we're going to say El Taco de and then the person's name. But if we already know who we're talking about, we're going to say su taco. Another example. Why not just say La pizza de Kirito. Well, you could, but you could also just say it's Kirito's pizza. And of course, that would be his pizza, su pizza. One last example. Why not just say the dog of Nile? El perro de Nile. You can, sure, but if you've already said Nile's name, it's a little weird to say, oh, Nile sang so well last night. By the way, that's the dog of Nile. You would say su perro. So, to reiterate, if you have not already discussed who the owner is, things do get complicated. You might have to say an example like El perro de Nile. But if you have said who they are, you can change it. So here is the difference between the two. El abuelo de él, the grandfather of him, is su abuelo. La madre de Fernando Torres, the mother of Fernando Torres, su madre, his mother. El bolígrafo de ella, the pen of her, would be su bolígrafo, her pen. And el perro de Señor Nemo, the dog of Señor Nemo, could just be said as su perro, his dog. So when we're talking about his or her or its, something belonging to something that would go in box 3 of our chart, we would say su. Su abuelo, su madre, su bolígrafo, su perro Wally. If these things, abuelo becomes plural, madre becomes plural, we're going to use the word sus. So for example, sus abuelos, sus madres, sus bolígrafos, or sus perros, Wally y Sherlock. And again, this might only belong to one person. Maybe it's his grandpa, or his mother's, or his bolígrafos. His is just one person. But when we're specifying that there's more than one thing or person being owned, it needs to be plural. So when this gains an S, this gains an S. When madres gains an S, sus gains an S. When bolígrafos gains an S, so does this. Nuestro is a bit of a trick. So when we're in boxes 4 and 5, not only do we have to make sure we're making things match singular and plural, but also we're going to have to make things match with gender. So we're going to use nuestro if the thing that we own is masculine, or nuestra if the thing that we own is feminine. So this depends on the gender of the object that we're talking about. So if I want to say our taco, I'd say nuestro taco. But if that taco magically becomes an enchilada, look, enchilada ends in an A, it's feminine, therefore it needs to be nuestra enchilada. Nuestro padre, nuestra madre. Nuestra tarea, nuestro maestro. So whereas boxes 1, 2, and 3, and 6, gender does not matter. It's just going to be me or me's, two or two's. For boxes 4 and 5, it is going to matter. So this is nuestro or nuestra. And you guessed it, if taco and enchilada and padre and madre and tarea and maestros become plural, it's going to gain an S on the left side. So it would be nuestros tacos, nuestras enchiladas, nuestros padres, nuestras madres, nuestras tareas, and nuestros maestros. The same principle goes for vosotros. So this would be vuestro, like this belongs to you all. If I'm talking to a group of 3 of my students, and I'm like, hey, you 3 students, does this taco I found on the floor belong to you 3? I would say, is this vuestro taco? And they'd be like, Senor, you're silly, that's an enchilada. I'd be like, oh, well then is it vuestra enchilada? Same thing, if I see 2 siblings in the hallway, I might say, hey, I talked to vuestro padre last night. And they'd be like, actually, that was our mom. She has a really deep voice. And I'd be like, oh, vuestra madre does have a deep voice. You've probably even heard me say vuestra tarea before. When I say your homework is, I say vuestra tarea es estudiar, blah, blah, blah. And if you have, if I want to say all of your teacher is such an amazing teacher, I'd say vuestro maestro Señor Nemo is just so incredible. And again, if these things become plural, it would be vuestros tacos, vuestras enchiladas, vuestros padres, vuestras madres, vuestras tareas, vuestros maestros. So let's talk about these people in a visual chart owning a banana. Yes, la banana. Notice the word is la banana, but we are going to drop the la in favor of your possessive adjective. Me, tu, su, nuestra, vuestra, su. Here is la banana. Now again, if I want to say the banana is mine, I'm going to say it's mi banana. If I want to say it's your banana, as in like I'm pointing to you, like Uncle Sam is pointing to you, it would simply be tu banana. Remember, no accent. If I want to say that the banana belongs to Jordy Nelson, and we've already talked about Jordy Nelson, you're like, oh my gosh, did you see Jordy Nelson's ridiculous dinosaur costume? I'd be like, yeah, this is his banana, by the way. It would be su banana. If I want to say the banana belongs to these 5 students who attend Forest Park Middle School, and me, all 6 of us are sharing one banana, I would say it's nuestra banana. But then I'm like, that's kind of weird to share. I'm just going to give this to you 4 students. This would be vuestra banana. And then, lastly, I could say that this banana belongs to Sherlock and John Watson. So I could say es su banana. Notice, su banana and su banana are the same thing. I don't want this to get confusing. It's not Seuss in this box. It would be Seuss in this box if it were more than one banana, but it's just one. So we're going to say su banana or su banana regardless of whether it's box 3 or 6. The way you'll know is by context clues. You will have already mentioned Jordy Nelson, so you'll say su banana. You'll know it's just him. If I mention that my favorite 2 stars in the world are Sherlock and John Watson, and you say, oh, this is their banana, su banana. Because banana is singular, su looks singular, it doesn't have an S on the end. So again, su banana and su banana are the same, but from context clues from the conversation, we know that su banana about him is just one person, su banana about him is 2 people. But it's always just the one banana. Unless you have 2 bananas. And let's talk about that. Las bananas. If you have many, many, many bananas, and I want to say they're my bananas, I'd say mis bananas. If I want to say they're your bananas, it's tus bananas. If they're Jordy Nelson in a dinosaur costumes bananas, I would say sus bananas. If I have a couple or many bananas that belong to these 5 people and me, I'd say nuestras bananas. If they're just a bunch of bananas for you guys, y'all, I'd say vuestras bananas. And if there's one banana each, of course, for Sherlock and John Watson, I'd say sus bananas. One more time, let me point this out. Sus bananas and sus bananas, box 3 and 6, are the same. But by context clues, I will have already mentioned Jordy Nelson, and I'll say these are his bananas. Because there are 2 bananas, sus becomes plural. Doesn't matter that Jordy Nelson is one person. Here, John Watson and Sherlock, multiple people, it doesn't matter though. The thing that matters is the fact that there are 2 bananas, or more than 2 bananas. So sus bananas, same thing, but from context we're going to know. Let's try this. Como se dice? I want you to number your paper 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or number a piece of paper really quickly, and then pause when I tell you to pause, and then try and figure out the answers, come back, push play, and I'll show you the answers. So, como se dice my paper, my papers, your dog, your fruits, his folder, her eye, and our grandma. Pause right here. I'll give you a couple seconds to pause. Pause it. When you're ready, come back, check your answers. Pause. Okay, so I'm hoping you're ready. I'm going to show you the answers. Check your answers. My paper would be mi papel. My papers, mis papeles. Notice, once papers grabbed an S here and became plural, everything became plural here, mis and papeles. Your dog is tu perro. Your fruits, fruits is plural, so it's tus frutas. His folder, su carpeta. Her eye, su ojo. Notice su and su are the same for his and her, but again, you're going to know from context clues. And our grandma, nuestra abuela. I've got 7 or 8 more, so last time. Number your paper 8 through 13. I'm going to pause it right here, try and figure these out. Remember, all of these are in boxes 4 and 5, so gender is going to matter for these. So pause now, come back when you're ready. All right, so the answers for 8 through 13 are, our uncles is nuestros tíos. Our pizzas would be nuestras pizzas. Notice, tíos is masculine, so it's nuestros. Pizzas is feminine, so it's nuestras. Our pen, bolígrafo, masculine and singular. So there's no S here because it's singular, but that is masculine, so we have nuestro. Your cat, vuestro gato, singular, singular. Your cats, vuestros gatos, plural, plural. And this one's feminine. Your enchiladas, vuestras enchiladas. So I hope this helped. Continue on with the rest of the exercises. Get some practice in this. And good luck.